All right, guys, if you are watching this, you are here to understand your 1920s magazine project. So this assignment is going to be found in Google Classroom. Let's dive in and do our best to understand it. So essentially, guys, you're making a digital magazine about the 1920s. Make sure you follow the requirements. The rubric is listed out here. Your first slide, change the title to whatever as long as it's school appropriate. Leave this here and then add a picture from the 1920s, and we're good to go on this slide. For the remainder of slides that look like this, class, I definitely want you to add a picture that relates back to the title, but leave these titles alone because that's going to help me know what I'm going into and grade your stuff a lot faster. This slide here is the one that I feel like you guys are going to gripe about the most, so just have a good attitude about it to the best you can. Make sure you give it a title, add a picture here about society from the 20s located here, and then after that, guys, we have these boxes listed out here. You're going to click this link, and then it's going to take you to this page here. And the deal that we need to understand is obviously the goal here is for you to summarize these aspects of the 1920s. So we're just summarizing here, giving us a big, broad overview. So in terms of how much you have to do, because that's the question you're asking right now, I need 4 to 5 bullet points, or you fill up the box. Whichever one happens first, I'm okay with. Again, 4 to 5 bullet points in all the boxes, or you just fill up the box, and I'm good to go from there. So this slide here, let me tell you the difference between this box here and this box here. On this box here, you're going to be filling up the box of descriptions of either the book, a poem, or artwork from one of these 3 individuals and how it symbolizes themes of the 20s. We can pick Mr. Hughes, Scott Fitzgerald, and Georgia O'Keeffe. If you want one that's going to be relatively easy, go with Scott Fitzgerald. You literally read The Great Gatsby last semester. I'm perfectly okay with that. We have to put 2 pictures down here, either an ad or a picture from the 1920s, either or, and you can do both if you wanted to. On this side here, you're going to be conducting an interview with a famous woman of the 1920s. We have Alice Paul, Margaret Sanger, and Jeanette Rankins. Jeanette Rankins was a pacifist who was against World War I. Margaret Sanger was advocating for the development of birth control women. And Alice Paul, I don't know who that was, so have fun figuring that one out. Again, guys, for these 3 women, you got to fill out all the questions and answers here, and we're good to go. Make sure your questions and answers all are relevant to the time period, not, so what was it like growing up? Hey, what's your favorite color? Make sure, for example, with Margaret Sanger, can you tell us why you feel like women have access to birth control? Stuff like that. Make sure it's actually relevant to who they are. All right, this slide here, we're going to grow an understanding of jazz. In this first box here, you need to describe the 1920s time period and how music is changing and tell us how that shows changes in American society. The link that you'll use is going to be this Khan Academy link that looks like this one, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be where you'll find information about jazz. You'll simply need to scroll down to this section here. From there, guys, you're going to want to research Bessie Smith. The link that is posted here will take you to this page here. It has her picture at the top. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think she may have been one of the first African-American women to perform in the White House. So that's going to be fun for you guys to learn about. From there, I want you guys to finally research Mr. Louis Armstrong. His link is going to take you to his page here, Mr. Armstrong's cool. He has a very unique singing voice for sure, but Mr. Armstrong's beyond cool. And then put in 2 photos right here. From here, guys, again, put in a picture that relates to 1920s politics. Don't change the title. Pretty to please. This slide's really straightforward. I just need you to tell me about the 3 1920s presidents and their policies. We're going to have a picture of Harding here, a picture of Coolidge here, and a picture of Hoover here. The link is going to take you to this page here, ladies and gentlemen. My advice is going to be, first off, looks like we got to create an account, so whoopsie daisy. You're probably going to have to sign up with Google. But then from there, guys, go through the link and just look up their names to make the reading part as easy as possible for yourself and go from there. That's going to be one of the ways you can make this as simple as possible. And then add in a picture of, I would do one of 2 things here for the pictures. Add in a portrait of the presidents or a cartoon of the presidents, depending on how much you like them after you're done reading. And also your notes would help you with this portion as well, because I've more than likely covered these guys at this point of the week with the video you were required to watch, because you did watch the video in front of the class, right? I really hope so. All right. From here, guys, you got to put in 2 political cartoons from the 1920s and describe what the political cartoon is saying. That's really all you have to do here for this slide. Again, it has to be from the 1920s. If it's from the 1930s or 40s, you don't get credit. It's got to be from the 1920s. Finally here, guys, we need to talk about the economics of the 1920s. Add a picture here below. You need to describe the boom of the 1920s, meaning why was stuff going so beyond well, especially with the stock market. If you fail to bring up the stock market down here, you can't get credit for it. And then down here, again, use the notes that we will have more than likely gone over to some extent. Talk about how the stock market falls apart. This is going to be a good warm-up for next week when we talk about the Great Depression. So that'll be good, useful information for you to have. From there, guys, this is again going to be a warm-up for what we're going to do next week on the Great Depression. Give me an image. Hey, Cor. Give me an image here that describes how the Depression is affecting people, and then give me another image here that's describing how the Depression is affecting people here and here. And then finally, you need to be interviewing President Herbert Hoover on this far right side. You're going to click this link here, and it's going to take you to, if it loads, oh no, this is beyond awkward. Let's try again. It's going to take you to this page here. My biggest advice, guys, in your interview with President Hoover would be how sympathetic or aggressive you want to be. Some of you can choose to be sympathetic and maybe say, "Hey, President Hoover, you weren't fully responsible for what happened, so maybe try to do a little bit more." Or you can be highly aggressive in your interview and be like, "My dude, you are doing nothing for the Great Depression. You got to do something to help us out." Finally, down here at the end, you need to write a final letter from the editor where you are giving me a 7 to 10 sentence overview of the 1920s, where you're going to be talking about what you feel like are the most major trends, and that's where they can be subjective to everyone. Maybe, for example, Ben, you feel that economics is what defines the 20s. Maybe Kelsey, you feel that culture defines the 20s. Gemma, maybe you feel that women leaders define the 20s. Maybe Angelina, you think politics defines the 1920s. We got options here. So just go over that in a nutshell. This is due on Friday at 11:59 p.m. You guys, in terms of your work ethic, you should really be able to get this done by then. I'm not really stressed out about that. Email me if things come up and you need help and or if you have questions. Understand, though, that I might not be able to reply to your emails given that I'm gone for family reasons. But otherwise, if I have time, I'll try to answer them. Best of luck. Have fun. Respect the sub, and we'll be good to go.